Fitlik Abdi, Danny Boy here, and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever. It's episode 99. Wow, holy crap. It's going to be a drive-by episode. We're going to be jumping on this, the ITS London, Midlands and Scottish Main Line. Now this one is a Turbomotive, it looks like. Yep, it's a Turbomotive in black. It is picking up people. It did have quite a few people actually. There's sort of ding oil train there that doesn't particularly work, but hopefully will work at some point. And we're going to get rolling. First of all though, we need to make a few adjustments. So, whoosh, date speed, up. 3 times speed or normal speed? Let's go normal, because this thing's pretty fast, right? Surely? 3 times speed. Right. So we've got this train. I'm not entirely sure which train we're going to go on after that. There it is. In all its glory, it'd say it's a long sucker. It sort of looks like a LMS Black 5. Ow. Sorry. That sort of looks like an LMS Black 5, but just with a few more bits of jewellery, and maybe this piston box down here at the front is slightly larger. But it's pretty cool. It's ready to rock and roll. It should be ready to rock and roll. It's not set to wait for a full load. We'll get it back into position. There it goes. It's turned around. She's ready to go. So we're off to Carlisle. Should be a nice smooth trip. Now it should get a decent amount of speed here. Alas, there is a bridge. A slow bridge that only does like 56 miles per hour. That I might actually change up. There are other brick bridges with the extended speed limit. So we'll probably change that up at some point. We're going past one of our Jones, our Highland class, our Jones class from the Highland Railway. That is taking crude. It's got the new tanks, which is pretty cool. So I've just realised that these two, because I'm pretty sure, no, the other one is sitting waiting to open, so that's fine. We're getting a decent 30 frames per second, and we have been adding stuff pretty much constantly. I am looking forward to, I always say this, bigger and better trucks, because the bigger and better trucks I have, the less trucks I have on the map, which frees up a bit of memory and CPU, although memory is not the issue. We've got tons of memory spare. It's just, if I tab out into Task Manager, it does show that 99% of the CPU is being used. Pretty much all of it for this. There is a brief amount that gets used for OBS Studio. Oh, here's this horrible bit of road that I had to put in to connect that. Where's the oil? Oh, you've got the heat shield thing. It's not a heat shield. I think it's for like aerodynamics. It's supposed to be. No, I can't remember what it is. I actually read up on what the side panels on the front of the locos were. And I can't remember. But we're getting up to a decent amount of speed. We are losing frames. It does seem that the faster it goes, the better frames it gets, which is weird. It should get better now though, because we're now in a position where there ain't much. We don't have to contend with the population, buildings, vehicles that the CPU has to work out or sort of figure in up at Glasgow. It will go down again as we hit Carlisle. So I think Carlisle was definitely, what absolutely was, one of the first maps, one of the first cities we actually connected onto the London Northwestern Main Line intercity. Now it should be bigger, but alas, I think the geography of the terrain has sort of hindered its development there. I suppose this would be part of the Lake District that we're going past here. This is pretty awful. It's like a UFO landed or something and just took clean chunks. Now if I try to smooth that, it could look even weirder. Right, we'll just leave it. Right, here's this bridge. So we're up to 74, but the train will slow down. There it is. Brakes on. Should go down to 56. Yep. Exactly. 56, bang on. The very first inch of the train touched the entrance to that bridge. So we'll delete this bridge and we'll rebuild it. We'll make it a faster one, because this train could potentially get up to a decent rack of speed. I mean, it was doing 76, probably get up to about 90 if it had a straight go. This is a downhill section as well. Obviously not for the train heading in the opposite direction, but hey ho. Now previously this train terminated at Carlisle, but now it does not. There is some sort of, that's a plastic train way in the distance. So that's two green Grand Centrals hauling sort of boxcars. There is a plane over the mountains as well. So the plane manages to fly over those mountains. It's obviously on its way to Glasgow, but when it hits Glasgow it turns into a fugly mess. So that's one thing I want to mention. Waypoints. Waypoints for aircraft. I've seen people mention this before on the workshop discussion on the Facebook page. A guy actually posted a video on how horrendous it actually looks having stuff like 747s sort of hovercrafting over hills. It looks really dumb. Now, Transport Tycoon, a game that was made many moons ago that I really enjoyed. What the hell is that? Hello? Oh, it's a bird. I thought it was a floating person. Yeah, they managed to do waypoints for ships and aircraft and stuff. They even had helicopters in the game that you could export people out to oil rigs. I wish this had this. I really do. There may be a mod for it in the future, but waypoints for planes would be awesome. The only way to combat the ridiculousness of planes slamming into the side of a mountain and then sort of crawling over the top of it is to position airports in where plane flight paths don't go through mountains, which is kind of dumb. Now obviously in the real life that would be a thing as well, but in a map like this where you're limited for options for placing airports in certain cities because the geography, the terrain is pretty high. Wait, why are you coming down here? I've not upgraded this bit of track for some reason. Alas, it doesn't look like I actually need to. I mean, I could. Okay, right. The fancy line on the right hand side is for the Royal Scot that leaves from Edinburgh. There it is, actually passing on the right hand side there. Actually, wait, is it the Royal Scot? Yes, it is. It could have been a freight train. I just want to check the size comparison. So the Royal Scot is quite... it's kind of small compared to the... That was a Duchess on the left hand side in black. We've got a Princess Royal, we've got the Duchess in Crimson Lake, and we've got a Turbo Motive. I'm sure there's a green Turbo Motive that will become available at some point. Right, you've got the British Rail and you've got the LMS. And there's a lot of people waiting here, which is nice. This one's not filling up, or is it? Now you can actually see the sort of fabric and stuff, and the head covers for the seats there. That's pretty cool. Right, so this should fill up quickly, and then we should be back on our way. It is currently 25 minutes to 6. Now this is actually 25 minutes to 6 on Friday, and normally I upload my Transport Fever at 8 o'clock. But the drive-by episodes, I should have done this ages ago. I was actually really busy today, which sucks. Something I've noticed that's been weird. I'm not unemployed yet, but I don't have to go into the work. My office is closed, all the gear and equipment has either been sold off or sent to other yards, like around Europe or back to America or India or Dubai, so the other departments that are still running over there can use it. So there's nothing left for us to do. Everyone that is in my department, the only person that's in the office is still like my boss. He still has to work. He's getting, unfortunately, laid off as well. He still has to stay in the office along with like some of the other receptionists and stuff for our department, but everything is done, so I don't have to go into work. Don't have to go into the office. I was signed off with that torn tendon with my shoulder. The doctor said that I can now go back, and I could have went back to work in the office, or at least do light duties and stuff, but there's no point because there's nothing there. So I have been off for a while, and one thing I've realised, ever since I've been off, I've been so busy. It's like I started the 2 episodes a day because I thought, my god, I've got so much time now. I don't have to worry about work. I won't get called away at some random day to go away for like 3 weeks, 5 weeks, 7 weeks, or get called into the yard for some emergency or into the office for some meeting, and have heaps of times. Ever since I've been off, I've been sort of rushed off my feet. I seem to get a lot of phone calls. I seem to have become a taxi driver. Could be a new profession for me, because everyone just sort of phones me because they know I'm off. It's like, oh, well, do you want to come for dinner? Do you want to go shopping? Will you drive me here? Will you pick me up from there? It's like, what? Really? This is supposed to be my relaxing time off before I have to go back to the coalface, but when everybody knows you're off, everybody knows that you're available. So I have been trying to get the videos up 2 a day. Sometimes at the weekend it's difficult. My girlfriend likes to go and see her grandmother religiously every day at 9 o'clock in the morning. And a Saturday she takes her out for dinner, she takes her shopping. I often, well, I'm not going to say get made or forced to participate, because our grandma is like a really nice lady. She's one of the finest human beings I've ever met. She's a real nice lady, so it's not really a chore. It is actually nice spending time. She's actually pretty funny as well. She's old school. She tells it like it is, which is nice. You don't often meet people like that nowadays. But yeah, weekends normally super busy. I've not actually been to the pub since it opened. I have been round to a friend's house for his 40th birthday. It's okay, I'm not 40. He's just like many years older than me. But normally he's one of the locals that drink in the pub. So the pub down here is still closed because there is... The bar I drink in is like a sports bar, and there's no volume on the TV, which I think is weird. So people haven't been going. There's no music in the jukebox here in Scotland. You're not allowed loud music. You're not allowed volume in the TVs because apparently people speak louder. When they speak louder, it causes our friend COVID to be passed more easier, or some ding like that, some weird thing. But people haven't been going. I think a few people are still scared to go as well. I would have went if the pub was open. I really do need a decent drink with my friends. I also have a lot of friends who have been sort of paid off from their companies as well, because most of the people where I live are either fishermen, farmers, or they work in oil and gas. That's about 90% of the people here do that. Then you've obviously got your teachers, firemen, police officers, people that work in offices, shops, but most of it is that 3 industries: farming, fishing, and oil and gas. So everyone's been sort of hit hard. Lots of people have lost their jobs. People just want to go out and have a nice time. The guy who owns my local is actually one of my friends, and he's been saying he did open it for a couple of weeks, but with the no music and stuff. And recently in Aberdeen, when the pubs opened, a particular pub had something like 300 people inside it. One of those persons had COVID. Then within 2 weeks, another 147 people that were there were infected. It was a complete disaster. Aberdeen got re-put in lockdown. The measures were certain people were allowed in pubs was strictly enforced. No music, no TV. I mean, I can watch football, soccer. I can watch any sport without volume. The whole point of commentary in sport is so the visually impaired know exactly what's happening. You do not need to hear some dude telling you who is on the ball in football, who's playing a shot in golf, who did a try in rugby. If you can visually see it with your own eyes. But for some reason that's a real deal breaker for people not going to the pub and watching sports. Also, the no music thing's kind of a bust as well. It's kind of like being in a Wetherspoons. Wetherspoons doesn't deal in music, or at least the ones up in Scotland don't. So it's like a kind of no atmosphere. You're relying on your friends to create atmosphere, and for some reason when there's no music, it's still fun, but it's just not as fun. So I haven't really been out drinking at weekends, but still, I'm finding it difficult to get. I mean, Saturday and Sunday should be like a free day. I always think, right, I'll get like 4 episodes done on Saturday. That covers the whole of Saturday, carries the whole of Sunday. So I've got Sunday to sort of like chill out, and then we're back on Sunday night, where I can do Monday morning's episode, etc. But last couple of weekends, I've not even been able to get 2 videos out on a Saturday and Sunday. I think last week there was like a transport fever and one Fall Guys that should have been on at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, but they didn't go up till 8 o'clock at night. So it's been tough. And the moral of the story is, because it's 25 past 6, or it's probably nuts, whatever that last clock at that last station said, because it's 25 past 6, probably about 10 minutes ago, and the fact that we're still recording this, and I need to render it in Sony Vegas, and for some reason, when I render the drive-bys, I think it's mainly because the train is in this view. It takes an age. It's really long. Now, my Sony Vegas will render a standard, one of my Transport Fever episodes, averaging about 55 minutes to an hour and 5 minutes at 1080p, 60 frames per second, in about 45 to about 50 minutes. Easy, hands down. It doesn't even break a sweat. It's barely even using any sort of raw like CPU usage or GPU usage. It just sort of sails through it. So temperatures are all good, etc. It just nails it, hands down. It's something I really don't have to worry about. My last computer had an i5, and it was like desperately kind of slow for rendering. I really had to factor in render times when recording. I had to make sure a lot of videos were recorded in advance, so that I could have the time to render them. I also handbrake them as well, which is a data compression program. You do lose a slight bit of quality, but it's probably better than uploading like a 15 gigabyte video to YouTube. And I'm pretty sure YouTube would probably hit back at some point and be like, whoa, bro, you are using every single bit of free memory space that we're using with your massive uploads. So it's better for upload times, probably better for YouTube. Quality is slightly hindered, but it's a sacrifice we can sort of make. I'm thinking about getting a new system, but yes, because it's going to take so long and I've got all that process, this video probably won't be up at 8, but it will be up tonight at some point. Right, there's the Grand Central. So amazingly, this train on the right hand side that we saw crossing the bridge at Carlisle, which will admittedly say had a decent head start on this thing, has now been surpassed. It might have been stuck by traffic. We'll give it a break. I mean, this train on the right hand side coming into Manchester here is absolutely stuck by traffic. That's a given. Uh-oh. Why is the other train there not moving? It is moving. Right, we're coming into Manchester. Frames just plummeted down to about 1920. There we go. There's a nice little Great Western there. Probably filling up in mail because mail doesn't show an animation in those wagons. Like the alcohol and stuff will show crates, but not the mail. So lots of people weirdly want to go to Birmingham. Oh, what time was it there? 10 to 6? Quarter to 6? Yeah, 10 to 6. Wow. So that's been, since we started recording, well, I've probably been recording for about 25 minutes or so. So I wonder how long. Oh well, the Grand Central's beating us. Boo. Right, I wonder how long this episode is going to take. I need to be wary. I'm almost super paranoid that I go above 1850. Are we in 1840? I forget. Oh, we probably had an autosave as well that I didn't blank out, so that's my bad as well. Yeah, but the moral of the story is this video ain't going to be up in time. And even though I don't have any actual work to do, and I still get paid till the end of September, but I don't have actual graft, physical or otherwise labour to do, I've actually been more busier than ever. But it's nice. I'm loving the recording. I'm getting really excited for... Now I was gonna, full disclosure, I was gonna like bin this map at about 1960, the sort of end of Steam, because there's so much going on, there's so much vehicles. To keep it interesting, you need to keep adding, building new stuff. There are a lot of industries kicking around the map. I did auto-gen them. They're not specifically placed or anything. They could probably, a lot of them could probably go. I don't know if that would free up any frames or CPU or memory. It probably would, because the game is factoring them in as entities, even though they're still not connected to anything. They're still part of the map. So, might get rid of some of them. Ones I know we definitely probably won't use. I'm kind of hoping for some more freight trains, some better trucks. As I said before, the bigger the truck, the better. That means you can knock off some more trucks on the line, which is totally fine. That frees up a bit of stuff. Obviously, cities continuously expanding, causes lag as well. It's a lot for the game to factor in. There are many cities on this map that are above 1,000 population. There are many that are very close to 1,000, and there are still those that are sort of dwindling down at the bottom, because they're not particularly getting goods. Now my plan was to get goods, every single good type to every single city. That's no shot at the moment, no chance. So that was a bust. I think maybe we'll just get some freight lines going into some cities. As you can see, most main lines and stuff are pretty congested now. Trains that have sort of epic top speeds for this era are sort of being hindered, we'll say, because there's so much other traffic on the line. And although stuff like this is nice, the drive-bys and driving past all the different trains we have, I suppose that is. I actually prefer the trains going slower but having the cool stuff to go past. I think that's something I actually prefer than having them go at top speed, because unfortunately acceleration on trains in Transport Fever is probably, maybe it is true to the real life. I'm going to say they're not. But unlike a train in the real world that has probably 100 odd miles to get from one main station to another, or between stations, or several miles between stations, can accelerate a lot quicker. And here, if you've got a decent short of track that's flat, high speeded, maybe even downhill, then it might get up to somewhere near its top speed. Maybe if the train was running empty with no consist, it would probably get up the top speed. But right now, it's not. And these are megalomaniac size maps. And the next map that we're going to do is going to be that as well. I have been working on that late on in the evening when she's asleep, because she doesn't like me to record during the night, because apparently I can be heard. Although I don't speak that loud. It's weird, because apparently she doesn't complain during the day when she's awake. She says she can't hear me, but apparently when I'm asleep, when she's asleep, she then can, which is weird. I'm absolutely not allowed to play Fall Guys or Call of Duty past like 11 o'clock, because I get anger issues while playing those games. And every now and again there's a wee rage tantrum kicks off. But yeah, apart from that, we're all good. So yep, getting these trains are okay though. Now we're about 5 to 6 there, and we're heading for Oxford, and then we're going to Luton, and then we'll be in London town. Sweet. And then we will have passed many things, which is good. I mean, we could jump on. I think I need another line to jump on. I may jump on a plane. I actually really like jumping on planes nowadays and just flying over the map. Another thing I will say about this map though, since we're sort of nitpicking here, there's trees over there. There's a lot of trees. See the trees? But like this side of the map is like a barren wasteland for trees. All down the south beside London to Folkestone to Penzance, Wales, there are very, very little trees. Trees seem to end from about Luton upwards. I mean, that area beside Newcastle and Norwich is just completely flat. I would say farmland, because it's probably farmland in real life. I mean, I've been on that line many times, heading down to York to our work site there, and it is a lot of farmlands, but there are trees. I mean, I'd love to add more trees, but trees, as we know, are a CPU killer. Just the rendering them in, if there's so much, it can be a nightmare. Right, there's an autosave. Right, autosave completed. That one wasn't actually too long. I actually stopped to look at my phone to read a message and reply, and by halfway through replying it was ready. Why is autosave getting quicker? It feels like it's getting quicker. I think it is actually quicker in this first person view. I think when I'm in third person it takes an age. We're still getting that weird stutter. Does that only happen at 3 times speed? It's hard to actually tell what speed I'm going at now because the train is so fast. I think that should be normal play speed. It should get better in this tunnel. It's actually getting worse. Yeah. So double speed it. Triple speed it. I hate this weird stutter, and a few people have sort of mentioned what it is. I remember Skystorm did the video and said that it was due to ship lane traffic, but then they put out a patch to fix that. Or I'm sure they did. I'm sure that one of the things in the patch was that was going to be an issue that was going to be fixed. Now this train's doing 82 and it could probably be faster. I haven't upgraded this set of track, so that's dumb. Look how slow. It's slow in speed anyway for the station. and we don't have a clear signal ahead. So have we caught up with the train in front? No. No. No way. No, we haven't. We're good. So let's say, for once, these trains on this LMS mainline are decently spaced out. There we go. Beautiful palm tree there, Oxford. Known for its palms. But yeah, in the next maps. Next maps, because we'll probably do a few more before something comes out to exceed Transport Fever 2, which will probably be many moons in the making. I mean, I am really happy with how Transport Fever 2 turned out, but I do feel that there could have been more sort of done. The graphics and visuals, absolutely stunning, brilliant. Way better than Transport Fever 1 by a country mile. Some people might not think so, but I am one of those that do. I think there just could have been more. These added industries that with the mod in and stuff, these should be options that were allowed in the game. But yet the next maps will be a bit more detailed, more trees and stuff, more sort of scenery to sort of roll past, because rolling past is barren wasteland stuff just ain't that good. Going through trees and stuff is quite nice. I quite like it. Maybe passing rivers and stuff. So we're into, ooh, it's 6 o'clock according to that clock there. Okay, and we're back. Slight issue. The journey from Oxford to Luton was completely missed. The autosave finished, I started speaking again like a Mungo, and then realised as I was popping into Luton here that I had not started recording. So I've lost some time there, but well, I didn't do this on purpose to make the rendering time less. I actually genuinely forgot. I was actually paddling on about maps and stuff, which was stupid. And it did occur to me that I do have a nice line to follow after this if we are still not near the vicinity of 1950. I'm also trying to figure out what sort of stuff I get between now and 1950. I think there's still some pretty cool steam trains to pop out. I do believe I get the Sauder Type C trucks. What is Sauder? Sounds Russian or something, right? Is it French? Most of the trucks in here are in buses are like German. Most of the trains are actually German and Swiss. Apart from the odd, well, obviously the American ones and the Asia ones, Russia and Asia. Most of the European stuff is German or Swiss. But we're heading on to our final destination now, London town. There we go, wee bit of lag there, stutters here and there, as always. I'd love this to be a more smoother sort of ride. I have been watching other content creators play YouTube. play Transport Fever 2. Now they're starting up new maps, and when they go in first person mode, it's buttery smooth. I'd love to see. I'm going to keep following them and watching the episodes on their channels, because I'm curious to see how their sort of frame rate sort of contends with what's going on. Although a couple of them that I am watching are using the standard vanilla trains. There's no added mods or anything. Now mods are awesome. I think they actually make this game what it is, but they can cause some issues. I've almost had to abandon this playthrough a few times due to missing mods. I seem to have found a stable sort of way to keep the game rolling when mods sort of like disappear unknowingly from the workshop. But yes, here we go. Oh, I forgot this bridge is here. That's new. Yes, we've not been under this. This was to speed up oil trucks from, or fuel trucks, from that Reading sand oil mine fuel refinery. Right, so we've been rolling. It's now about 6:10. Sweet. This train just goes straight on, right? It's another train that goes into there. I'd love to do something better with that stupid, weird Flying Scotsman platform. It did occur to me in a dream. Nah, it didn't. It just occurred to me while I was playing the other day that I am going to have to build something similarly stupid to get the Eurostar in when it arrives, unless I cut down some of the lines that go into the other station, the South End station at London. Right, in we go there. Those signals were black and a different make from the standard signals, which leads me to believe that they are potentially on the wrong way. The Brighton Bell, that is perfect timing. Our first and only, is it our only diesel? Are you my only diesel? It's like a, is it a diesel electric? Look at it. Beautiful. And another Southern Railways train rolling in backwards there. Nice. Do like the Brighton Bell. We'll let that roll past. There we go. Very, very nice indeed. That train works really well. I'm super chuffed with it. There we go. Let's have a look. I was actually going to jump on the Brighton Bell, but it's just a short route. But here we are in London. Let's push escape. New stuff. I see it already. Push pause. Right, 5 new vehicles. Yeah. So, the Solar C-type truck. Side stakes, tank truck, dipper truck, 37 miles per hour, tarpaulin truck. Same speed as the Volvos in our current Benzes. Okay, that disappeared super quickly. Right, we're into May in 1945. So we are nowhere near. It only took 5 years. Weirdly, I thought it was going to take longer, so we're going to need something else to jump onto. Now my plan was to jump onto the P2s up in Scotland, because they're quite nice. F1 is currently in a station. Holy crap, there's a lot of mail there. Yeah, don't get distracted with that. I can fix that later. Right, you are on your way in. Are you... Right, let's go. Right, we'll wait for this train to arrive and then we'll pick it back up. So, we're back. The train has arrived. Aberdeen. It's a Hush Hush, which looks pretty cool. It's the Thane of Fife, actually. It is getting ready to about turn, which is very nice. Are you going to about turn? Are you actually waiting for one more person? 40 is fine. You can leave with 40. I'm not going to grudge you one missing passenger. Please. Please turn around and go. Hey, so here she is. Let's jump on board. Boom. In Aberdeen, let's have a quick look at the train. It's a fat lady. Fat boy. So, off we go. There will be other P2s. As the P2/2 as well, which looks really nice. So it looks like an A4. Now, as I was watching this train come in, there was a beautiful sight of a plane landing at Aberdeen, just as this train was cruising past. It was really nice, actually. I'm actually gutted that I stopped recording and everybody missed it. But the plane just sort of swung round in time with the train to land perfectly at the airport as the train was getting into the station. It was really cool. Oh, there's another one there, look. Well, you can't see it for that house. There it is. Beyond that tree in the distance. Hello, person in car. There it is. Nice. And it swings in Aberdeen. It managed to fly over the mountain. I'm extremely happy about. And then we're back onto the line. So we're heading for Dundee. And then it will be St Andrews. And then it will be Edinburgh. So it's not really a long route. It should hopefully take us to 1950. Is it 1950? I'm sure it is. But off we pop. Now it does get up to 70 miles per hour, 70 mile per hour top speed. I think the other two trains do 75. I think one maybe does 80. Possibly. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. It's been a long time since I bought them from the depot and looked at their stats. We will check the depots, everything, ships, planes, vehicles, trams, and then we'll check out the trains, cargo wagons, passenger wagons, steam locos, diesels, electrics, multiple units in diesel and electrics. We'll cover everything, because as someone pointed out the last time, I thought I'd covered everything, but I didn't actually search in diesel multiple units, where the wonderful Brighton Belle that we just saw about 5 minutes ago was actually a thing, and it was awesome. Right, so here's another train. This is actually a central Scotland. Or is it a northeast, north to west train? It's still in Caledonian livery. We should probably upgrade it if we get something in LMS colours later on. We will, absolutely. LMS black, probably. Wait, you're the P2. I thought you were something else. Oh no, you are something else. Sweet. Right, whatever the hell that was, the Coronation class in the streamlined sort of configuration in wartime black. Yeah, that runs Aberdeen, Dundee, Perth, Stirling, Glasgow. It sort of runs like northeast to southwest or south central Scotland. There's the other P2s, the P2, or is it the P2/2? I think it's like the P2/2. It's the sort of newer, sort of nicer looking one. Yeah, very nice. I do like that train. I think that's one of my favourite trains. Also, I really like trains in green. Don't know why. I think we get the Class 9, or the Class 7 in the Class 9, and the 9F. I think that appears like nowish, like 1949 or something. Maybe, possibly. Right, it's now 6:20. So we need this train to get to Edinburgh and end the episode ASAP, or I'll have been recording this for like 2 hours or something. Although we have taken breaks in between. And I did miss that large section between Oxford and Luton. Yep. So we might be okay. It's definitely not going to be up for 8 o'clock though. It's going to be a slightly later episode of Transport Fever 2. I will also have to, after this, record tomorrow morning's, well, tomorrow at lunchtime, 12 o'clock Saturday, which I think is going to be the Fall Guys. I've got a good feeling about this one. Unfortunately, our chances were ruined by that hacker in the last one, because everyone bailed and there were simply not enough people after the fall ball that we played to get into the final, because there was still another round to go. So one of my friends actually told me that was a thing, so it makes me feel slightly better about being eliminated. Because if I go out, everyone else went out. Perfect. Right, so we're heading for St Andrews. It should be a short hop. Just round the corner, up over the bridge. And I'm going to upgrade the bridge. I've been looking at photos of the Tay Bridge. There is something sort of similar to that. Like we can sort of pop over the River Tay here as it goes into St Andrews. Now in real life, train doesn't actually go into St Andrews. It stops at Leuchars, just outside St Andrews. There's an Air Force base there, which is pretty cool. They used to do air shows quite a lot there. I don't think they do them anymore, but they were kind of cool to go and see. Right, heading for St Andrews. Oh! Lamppost clipping through the bridge. That's super dangerous. Right, there we go. Now, one thing I will do in the other map as well is I'll make rivers more prominent. Obviously, due to when hype maps are sort of imported in, the rivers only extend to so far, and they have to be rather large rivers for the game to sort of take them into account. But what I'll do is we'll have the standard river, but then we'll use the editing tool to take it further inland. Because having like trains, bridge over rivers is kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool. Holy crap, there are about 1 billion, the entire population of St Andrews is waiting to go to Edinburgh. That's interesting. And this train only carries like 40 souls. Now what time is it? Oh, that was nice. A nice little 5-minute journey there. In fact, less than 5 minutes. Ooh. Now, unfortunately, I don't think... Here's something. I think that's like the standard P2. Now, you're going to be running empty because there's only like 2 dudes, 3. There we go. Look at that. Nice. Right, this one is full up again. So, let's go. Go, 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 go. I love the Gresley teak coaches. It's a shame they only carry 8 people. That's the service you want to be on. A train carriage with only 8 people in it. That would be magical. Not like the sort of ram-packed cattle cars you get on trains nowadays. The previous train journey was like so different compared to what it is nowadays. I mean, the sort of luxury that probably the more wealthier people travelled in was really nice. Don't get me wrong, first class and like LNER from Aberdeen to London is like pretty decent. There are bigger seats, more leg room, you do get the single seats. When I used to work down at the land job down beside Hull, we used to go down to York. They used to send us in first class because often the train arrives at Aberdeen. There are 99% chance there will be some sort of issue, which means the train will be running with a reduced consist. And it often means you get on the train, your seat you've reserved is no longer there. If that happens, if even one carriage goes missing from a consist, the entire seating arrangement of the whole train will be removed. Because if those people can't get their boot seats, it's like a free-for-all. No one can get theirs in other carriages. So that kind of sucks. And a lot of times we were getting on and sitting in standard class and our seats had been removed due to that issue. And there was also, the thing was like ram-packed. So you had to stand a long way. Normally till you got to Edinburgh. And then you get all the super angry people coming on there. You'd get people who would like reserved a seat, like, oh, I'm in carriage F in like 13G. Okay, that's cool. You're sitting in 13G and they come up and it's like, look, this is my seat, I've got the ticket. It's like, yes, well, I bought a ticket to go from Aberdeen and my seat doesn't exist anymore, neither does yours. Get over it. It's okay if it's, I don't mind getting up for old people or like disabled people. It's always better to give them a seat. Can't have them standing all the way in long journeys. But it does suck, and it would often mean you would get down to the area you were working, and instead of being well rested from sitting on the train relaxing, you'd be stressed and tired. And then using the equipment and some of the chemicals we used to use, being stressed and tired is not a good mix. So it's not good to enter a job site when you're still sort of like tired or stressed. Or in my case, I'd be angry, I'd be so annoyed. It's not a good frame of mind to be working in when your life and the lives of other people around you can sort of hang in the balance if you screw stuff up. So they started putting us in first class because then we were always guaranteed a seat. you couldn't turn up and say, well, I'm tired because I've been standing on a train for 8 hours, so I'm not working today because I'm sleep deprived and stuff. So that was no longer an issue. Not that we would use that excuse, but it was an excuse we could have actually used, especially if you were travelling all day and then you had to go on a night shift. So travelling for 8 hours takes you about 10 hours to get there. That's most of your day. And then at 7 o'clock we're like, well, you need to come onto the site because you need to work for another 12 hours. When you've been standing on a train for 8 hours, it's no bueno. Then you try to tell the company, well, hey, look, I got stuck on this train. It was a disaster. I didn't have a seat. I've not slept all day. I've not eaten, etc. Not had time to sleep. I'm tired from travelling. No, that's not an excuse that works. Especially when they're paying the amount of money that they are paying for you to be there. So, we've arrived in Edinburgh though. There is a tram. I knew there was going to be a tram. Right, 1949. Let's just bump that up to 1950. 10 new vehicles. Ow. 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 Right. So, we're into 1950. Push pause. Bring that down lest I forget. Right, let's find the depot. In fact, there is a tram depot here. Hello. I think it's only one tram. Buy vehicles, yes. The ATM 400. Only 2 drive axles and a suspended centre box. So I'm pretty sure this is not the ATM 4000. I mean, it's a name it could possibly be from anywhere. Same with the Type 1. I know the CE 2/2 is like Swiss, yeah. So I guess Type 1 is Swiss as well. No details to where this is, but I'm pretty sure it's not something that would have rolled around the UK. It maybe potentially could have. There were a lot of cities that had tram lines back in yesteryear, but it's more now a Central Europe thing, the trams. So we've got one tram, the ATM. Right, we're auto-saving, but that's okay, because I don't need auto-save. Now, there is a depot here, but I know there's a depot here. Commercial building, what? Hello? Nah. It's there. No. Wait, I just used this. I used it in the last episode. Have I lost it already? I have lost it already. Where did I send you guys from? No idea. Right, I know where there is a depot. So let's zoom over quickly. Right, new vehicles. Buy vehicles. Let's go passenger first. The Sauber Tuscher, still the latest thing to roll. This is 1975, so I'll keep these three running. The Daimler, the Sauber Tuscher, and the Schneider PB2 for airport shuttles. Cargo. Now, we got the... These are all the same. So 37, 13. Slightly more for that. 12, 37, 37. Capacity 13, 37. Sauber Tuscher 37. Yep. Right, they are all the same. No passenger vehicles. Ship depot. There's one right over here beside Oban. There we go. Buy vehicles. Right, let's go passenger. So we've got the ferry type. That's a new mod. That's pretty cool. I'd actually like to use this, and I'm going to use it somewhere. The Explorer and the Zurich. Yeah, I'm going to change other ships up to the Zurich as well, because I think it's faster. The Explorer does 25 and its capacity of 35. I might use this, even though it seems like not like a passenger vessel. Right, these are super slow, unfortunately. They are slightly, we'll say, 1 mile per hour faster than this. We're getting rid of these river boats though, which is nice. These are still river boats as well, but they sort of look more seafaring. You certainly wouldn't put tanker towboats or these kind of ships onto the Irish Sea, North Sea, North Atlantic, etc. The Channel. No, those, you wouldn't put these sort of low waterline ships into seas like that. A car can also be stowed in the quarterdeck of this towboat built in Germany. Why would you just take like a single car? Right, so slightly faster. This Don't know if it's faster than the Dinara Castle, though we'll have to check that. Although the Axalp is way faster. 220, still a decent amount. Top speed of the Viola. So 240, and you only take 200. So we're going to rule these out. We're just going to use the ships. 16. Oh yeah, it's a much better thing we've got going on there. Right, is there still a depot here? No, I've killed it somehow. Ah, there's a depot there though. Wait, check an airport. You got a hangar? Yeah, I do. Right, buy vehicles. Let's go passengers. So the Bristol freighter doesn't take passengers, right? Ah, it takes all. It takes a mix. 40 kilonewtons, 14 to 18 passengers. Relatively, or 14 to 18. Cargo, yeah, it's in there as well. My Victoria Vickers does 93. Yeah, this is still less, so I might use this for passengers. The good old SkyTrain, though, is good. We're probably going to replace the Vickers with the SkyTrain. All cargo, capacity of 30, that's really good. And we'll keep some of these on. We'll upgrade some planes to that. Passenger, we've got the Douglas DC-4 as well, which is really good. So I'll maybe eliminate some aircraft down to 1. Now you ran on 1982, so I would like... We'll figure out some new lines for those. We'll get our SkyTrain rolling. That's an absolute. Right. Where am I going? Where am I going? Train depot. Right. The meat and veg of Transport Fever. Steam. Right. So, have we lost anything? I think we've lost maybe 1 or 2 LBSCs. Now, I need to check everything because you often get older trains just with a different livery. Yep. So these look like they've got British Rail liveries. So I noticed that straight away. 9 variants. So we can also check that. See, 9 variants of this. Yep, that looks like the British Rail symbol there. So we're into sort of British Rail times. Right, these have not been upgraded though. Or have they? They maybe have. Potentially, we don't know. The LNER class. 6 variants of the Royal Scot now. Yeah, the Fowler tender. So we've got the rebuilt, which does 90. So that's actually faster. We've got the Fowler tender in green, the Royal Scot rebuilt, and the Stainer tender. So they're losing their sort of LMS liveries and getting British Rail liveries. You should still be the same. 5 variants of this. Yep. Black and green. Yeah, there's the green. BR green and BR maroon. And then we've got the blacks. The P2 probably still the same. That still the same, I think. 8 variants. This is a new one. Yep. BR livery NRM. Don't know. NCB. Not sure what they are. Green. Number 2 pale blue livery. Number 3 green livery. Is that supposed to be like Percy? Is Percy number 3? I don't think she is. Or he is. The BR class 8B. Nice. The BR 460B5. The Peppercorn A1. Designing a new A1 class of Pacific to start replacing the aging Grizzly designs. Okay. The BR, the J4 in British Rail livery. The Great Western Railways train in British Rail livery. The black is now in British Rail livery. The Princess Royal is now in blue. This Princess Royal is still in red. The Peppercorn A1 in green. Still maintaining its London North Eastern Railways livery, it looks like. I actually know what this is. South Eastern Chatham Railway, intended for top link services, and the SNCF 241P. We're going to use that in France, obviously. Electrics, no British Electrics yet. Diesels, yeah. So we've got the BR logo, no cow catchers, some with cow catchers. Yeah. Let's see what this does. Oh, okay. Just a little diesel shunter. Cool. Right, passenger wagons. Let's head down. Right, more variants of our... This is now in BR Blood and Custard livery, which is pretty disgusting. Why? Why would that be a thing? Right, the Mark 1 coaches. Cargo, anything new in here? Yeah. So we've got new standard stuff. Capacity 13. Right, I can start swapping stuff out now. This takes mail and stuff. I like the container wagons. It's maybe a bit new age, possibly. And flat sidecar, the gondola, the tank cars. Is that us? Is that all she wrote? Yep. Multiple units. Let's go electrics. The rotor, whatever that is, and our Brighton Bell. But it's now in BR Blue. So we'll have to start converting some of our stuff to British Rails. That's okay though. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. As always, if you did watch this and you'd like to leave a like, comment or dislike, please feel free to do so. We've got some new stuff to play with, which is nice. But we're going to end it there for that episode. As always, if you did watch this and you'd like to leave a like, comment or dislike, please feel free to do so. And if there is more you'd like to see in the future, then hit the subscribe button. I've been Danny Boy. This has been Transport Fever 2 on the UK map, and I will catch you later. I was actually looking for a train to follow on the way out. There we go. That one. But that's it for me, and I will catch you later.